Yep. I did a TikTok. You can do Twitter if you want. I haven't done Twitter yet. Do.
Alright, can you do Twitter?
Oh.
Since it's already on your phone.
Sure.
I forgot to log in.
It's all good.
And I can't remember that. Well, I remember it, but it's just like, yeah, it's going to take too long to type.
Right, I got you.
Let me go ahead and check if the audio is working. I think it will be. Oh, come on. I just need this thing to load. Let me pull up chat too. Alright. Seems to be working.
Cool.
Pull up closer to the mic. So the people can hear my sultry voice. my ultra sexy voice.
Do. I'm sorry. It's taking me a while. I apologize.
You type with your fucking fingers like a grandpa.
You know...
Yeah, what do I know? Use that pointer finger.
I've not been using my pointer finger.
I just saw you use your pointer finger just a second ago.
Well,
because the phone too damn big.
Here's the stupid thing, right?
This phone is big.
On the Android version of Twitter, the hashtag button is not in the main keyboard. You have to go to the fucking button for other. That's so stupid. It's Twitter. Why would I not use hashtags? We have no followers.
Well, whose fault is that?
I try, okay?
Mismarketing.
Why is it not popping up? Damn it. It's harder than it looks, okay?
No judgment.
Okay. Why is this not working? It's just working last time. I don't know, I'm doing this all without Wi-Fi because I'm supposed to be off the Wi-Fi to make sure the connection stays
we'll
okay.
Just go to profile and see what posted. Alright, that's good.
Alright, cool.
So we're back playing this boring game that I oh so love. It's so boring.
Grant just comes here. This is basically just a chill and chat with me for Grant because he thinks Animal Crossing is boring.
It is. You don't do nothing. There's no stakes. There's no drama. There's no titties.
No titties.
There's no titties in this game.
But
Nice.
the game doesn't need those things to be good.
Yeah, it does. In my book, it does. But I'm just the main demographic for video games, so what do I know?
Who says you're the main demographic for video games?
Yeah, it's white males.
What
is it, like white males between like teens and 40 or something? That's the main demographic.
It's really funny because I actually wrote a paper on this freshman year of college, right before I met you, about the video game industry and how it originally was made for everybody, and then there was a recession, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna change it to just boys.
No,
that is exactly what happened. Because
it's just because boys bought the fucking games in the first place.
No, it's not. In old video game marketing, it's clearly like family entertainment. Family, for the fun for the whole family, and it shows pictures of a mom and dad and children all doing stuff. Yeah. And then
what years? I need to know the years.
Well, the original Nintendo, that first year.
Which one is that?
The NES.
Yes.
Yeah, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
What year did it come out?
Are you gonna fucking do this right now?
Yes.
Why are you mansplaining something?
I'm not mansplaining anything.
Listen.
I'm just trying to hear your argument. And I just want to see what your argument for this is. I won't interrupt anymore, so go ahead.
Okay. So, when the...
This was supposed to be... sorry for interrupting. This was supposed to be about D&D, by the way.
When the recession started in, like...
83.
Yeah, in 83. All the marketing people were looking at it, and they were like, people aren't buying big technologies anymore, but they are still buying toys for their kids. But the kids' market was already segregated into boys and girls. And so they chose boys because they assumed that girls are not interested in games that aren't pink and about princesses. Even though there were games being made with female characters, such as the One King's Quest, where it is what's her name, Princess, I want to say it's Princess Penelope, but I don't think that's correct, as the main character instead of the normal character of the prince or the king in his name.
Okay, well you just jumped from 1983 to 1987, because that's when the NES came out, right? So, I don't necessarily think that's true.
Well, also the Atari, which came out...
Well, the Atari was a main system between 1978 or 79 through 1983. And it was the E.T. video game that sold really bad. Remember, because they had to bury all the cartridges in the desert? That's the reason that it caused the video game crash. Because the original Atari came out in like 78 or 79 with Pong. And that was the only game. And then they added more games after that. But then everyone pretty much started copying Atari. So like every company and their mom decided they wanted a freaking Pong game or like a Pac-Man game. So they all started coming out with their own games. And then after E.T. came out, it seemed like it was like a passing fad, like video games were shitty. So it didn't sell real well, and E.T. is not very good anyway, so like... Because they made like a couple million copies of the game, and they only sold like a couple thousand or like a couple 100,000, so it was a huge super flop, so they had to bury all of them in the desert. Do you remember this at all?
You're telling me things that I already know, yes.
Well, I'm just reiterating the thing. So, new games didn't get released until the Famicom, which is the Japanese version of the NES, which released in 1986, I think. And then a year later, in 87, it released overseas in America as the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, at what point did they start marketing exclusively to boys? Because the main games for the NES were like Mario, which I guess is kind of a guy game, but I think everyone likes Mario. And then you got like Mega Man, Legend of Zelda. and Metroid.
Well, yeah, but those games didn't become gender neutral in the sense that we think of today until a lot later. Because a lot of like when that first came out, there were no girls that were playing that because it wasn't marketed towards them. Or a lot, and they're also to the fact that.
What's your evidence for marketing it exclusively to boys? I'm just not seeing like.
Because a lot of the merchandise that went around that, like for example, when Pokemon came out and they started doing, because the game first, and then it was the cards. Is that correct?
Yes.
So the cards originally weren't sold as separate, like in, because nowadays if you go to Target, all the trading cards are by the cells near the front, but then they also have the boys' game, the boys' toys, quote unquote, and the girls' toys in their own separate aisles. But back then, Pokemon was sold in the boys' aisles with the cards. And I'm not saying there weren't other factors. I'm sure, like traditional gender roles also played a factor in that time. Since the 80s, we were kind of coming down from the the 70s sort of rebellion against traditional gender roles.
Okay. Well, I don't. So is it just because they put all the video games in the boys sections? Because that's more on the stores rather than the
those
companies.
were the things, those were the things that were put in, magazines that were mostly read by boys. Those were the things that they would put the advertisements in. And when they would show advertisements on TV, they would show boys playing it. And just all these little things sort of add up. Video games. Actually, not my paper was about specific. What my paper was about.
But did you include like demographics from pre and post video game crash? Because even if like Pong in the 70s and late 70s, early 80s was marketed for everyone, and mostly sweaty fucking dudes played it. I mean, and you can even go back to like pinball, like before like video games were a thing. Like it was mostly dudes, really.
Well, pinball was originally, before the flipper pinball came out, was originally completely gambling, which is marketed towards men because men had more money back when pinball was invented. And then they changed to flipper, and then it was just the same people. So that's why pinball is mostly dudes in a sense. But I mean, my paper wasn't specifically about, wasn't a general thing about that. It was more about the creation of the DS Lite, because the DS Lite was kind of the first system that had not only that was like more marketed towards, the Switch kind of in terms of just Nintendo. I can't really say for any other video game companies, where they was kind of switching from boys to all children. And that's why I feel like it's part of the reason why you see in the early 2000s a change, an increase in girls becoming interested in video games.
Yeah. So what you're basically saying is we're all a slave to these giant corporations, and all the marketing is subliminally messaging us into buying what they want us to buy. And
well, I knew that before I went to college.
And we can't make our own independent decisions.
Well, you didn't know that already?
I'm being facetious.
Yes.
Listen. I don't know. However they choose to market something is not. And to be quite honest, I'm not really convinced by your argument that it was 100% marketed towards boys. I think boys just happen to buy it more, and then they kind of just like, well, this is a boy thing now because they like it more, and then they started kind of pandering more to that audience, which is unfortunate because
That's like saying the only reason women buy more pads is because women like pads.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like women buy more pads, so therefore the pad market is marketing towards women more just because they buy them more. And yeah, that's for like a specific reason, obviously, but
No. Well, there's this thing in marketing where it can actually be beneficial to narrow your target market. And so when they saw the game crash happening, they thought, oh, what can we do? Oh, we can make a more niche market. We can create a more niche market by having these really specific entertainment systems that are for kids. Oh, but we'll just make it for boys to make it even more specific.
okay, but why did they make it for boys though?
They just, well, there's a lot of...
Did they just flip a coin and choose, or did the boys just happen to buy it more, and then that's why they chose to market it towards boys? That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get at.
It depends on who you talk to, but a lot of people say that it was really just because, you know, they're made in Japan, and they're like, oh, well, we're all men, so we're gonna do boys. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay. But then I'm gonna counter with another thing. I'm gonna do the Phoenix Wright. Objection. I counter that. All these ladies could have been making video games for ladies the whole fucking time. So I don't know.
All these women with what STEM degree that they weren't allowed into.
What do you mean they're not allowed into?
What? Do I still have another? Where'd that come from? Oh.
It doesn't really take a STEM degree to make a video game, though. Especially now. But, yeah.
I mean, there were women, you know, making games.
That's cool.
Just not in Japan. And Nintendo became the most popular
Yeah,
video
because they
game
made,
company.
like, really good games. They made the game that we're playing now.
I could tie this into Japanese feminist movements in the 80s, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. I will say that Japan...
Lolita fashion, okay.
Right. I will say that Japan is probably more sexist than the United States.
Yeah.
Which is why I think right now that games are becoming like more diverse, which is like ultimately a really good thing. Because did you see the picture that was online a while ago about like all the video game protagonists from like the early 2000s, like they had all the same face and they were all the same like skin color?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the games in that picture were good. It's just like, you know, it would be more interesting to play through stories that are not about the same edgy white guy.
Yeah.
That could have become a school shooter in an alternate life.
I mean, video games have made a big leap, like even in the past like 10 years, I would say.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't think like a lot of the industry is, well, I shouldn't say that because it is kind of true actually. I was gonna say a lot of the industry isn't sexist, but
Bethesda.
it really is. Bethesda?
Isn't that the one that's going that has
No, that's Activision Blizzard.
Oh.
No, Bethesda's not controversial right now, I don't think. Did they have a video game controversy recently?
I thought it was Bethesda that had the big one going on right now.
No, that's Activision Blizzard.
Doesn't surprise me. Because they've had stuff going on for a while, haven't they?
Have they? I don't know.
I think this is the biggest one, but I feel
Well,
like they've had stuff going on for a while.
I've reviewed some of it. I'm not... Listen, I don't claim to be super knowledgeable on it. I've only had a cursory glance at all the stuff because it makes me really sad.
That's understandable.
I just kind of want to remove that negativity from my life.
What the fuck is a wooden
But
knot wall?
it's definitely gone on for like a while, but this is kind of the culmination of all the different things.
Don't look it up if you're sensitive to things about suicide. And sexual assault.
Because the one girl
Yes.
committed suicide. Yeah, that's super unfortunate. Well, it just makes you think, like, where were all the people who, like, this was supposedly happening like openly in the office.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an easygoing guy and I can get away with a lot of shit. Like, really offensive jokes don't really bother me necessarily, but I think that, like, being openly sexist and grabbing people's asses would not be okay and would warrant a swift punch in the face from me. I don't understand, like, how so
many people could have seen it and not done anything.
Yeah, like, there are multiple accounts, like, verifying this is happening, and it's just like, how could, like, from supervisors even.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, even though I know, like, a lot of these people are desperate for a job, I feel as if I were to go up and confront someone about this, like, people would help. I just don't
like,
get it.
people would suddenly realize, oh yeah, this isn't normal, I should say something.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess it kind of goes into, like, the conformist mentality of people, which is kind of frightening. Right. Did you ever talk about the Stanley Milgram experiments and stuff?
In marketing?
Yeah, or just in college in general.
Okay. That's the one with the electricity, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the one where the scientists,
I have seen that.
the people dressed as scientists and told people to shock other people.
That one has always been my number one, like, oh shit experiment that I've read about.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with that one, that's super fucky because they've done, like, repeated tests of that experiment. And it works every single time.
Yep.
Whereas, I don't know if you people know anything about psychology, but there's this huge efficacy problem right now in psychological research where over 70% of the experiments that have been done within psychological research cannot be replicated within the same conditions.
Yeah.
So it's just like, someone fucked up. That's one of the experiments that can be replicated.
Yep.
And it's pretty crazy to think, because when he originally did that experiment, he was trying to, like, it was post World War II, and he was trying to figure out, like, why all that shit happened. I'm not gonna go into it because everyone knows about that. But he was trying to figure out why that all happened and, like, how people couldn't stand up for other people. And he did this experiment to try to see, like, how people react when presented with authority, and he pretty much hit the nail right on the head. He hypothesized that people would just go along with it, and then they just did. So it's pretty frightening, actually.
Yeah, it's ever since I watched a documentary on it. That was the first time I was exposed to it, was the documentary, but I also talked about it in college. And it did always scare me how I do feel like people will always accept authority even if they have nothing to back it up. Does that make sense?
Right. No, it's pretty fucked up. And if you want to look up another fucked up psychological experiment, look up Philip Zimbardo Stanford Prison Experiment.
Although that one I feel like can't be replicated.
No, it can't. He went against the... Actually, I don't even know... I can't remember if like the APA guidelines were put in place because of that experiment, or if like he went against APA guidelines. I'm pretty sure like he did the experiment and then like a bunch of shit happened where he had to end it early, and the APA added more guidelines for like experimentation.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good and fascinating data to like analyze. But yeah, that experiment couldn't be replicated now. And even with the Milgram shock experiment, that can't be replicated without adhering to specific circumstances. Like when he originally did the experiment, it was a certain number of volts to where it was lethal, and now I'm pretty sure you can't do that experiment with a lethal voltage amount, because like they don't want to traumatize the
Oh, my girl's working out. Look at her go.
Oh yeah.
Just doing that one arm, huh? Just gonna get one arm really jacked.
You can't see the other arm. Is she only working out of that one arm?
I can't tell.
Yeah, well, she's kind of a fatty, so
Don't fat shame whoever this villager's name is. Flurry.
What? She's a little fatty.
She's a hamster.
She's a hamster. Speaking of hamsters, when I went to go to the PetSmart to pick up the
dog food?
Yeah, I saw all the hamsters and the guinea pigs and stuff.
Aw.
I almost sent you a picture, but I was like, if I send you a picture right now, I'm gonna take like all of them home. You're gonna text me like, buy all of them.
Buy all of them.
I need one, and then that one needs a friend, and then they both need a friend.
I wouldn't be that irresponsible.
Would you?
No.
I'm so sure.
So we originally
Your irrational love of guinea pigs.
I do love guinea pigs.
They're stupid. You can't even pick them up and do anything with them. You just look at them.
You can pick them up. It's just that they'll freak out sometimes if they're not used to you. But I mean, that's true about a lot of pets.
I guess if I did pick up our dog, she'd freak out. Well, she does freak out because I do pick her up sometimes just to watch her freak out.
So
because she's funny.
So we did say that we were going to talk about D&D during this podcast.
Yes, let's talk about D&D before we get side-railed.
Yeah. So I was thinking we could either talk about our favorite actual play shows, or we could just talk about our experience playing D&D.
None of those things.
Well, then what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about fun things you can do in D&D?
I want to talk about how D&D is stupid and no one should play it.
Okay. You say as the DM of our D&D group.
Yes. Here, I'll start about Dungeons and Dragons. Rolling dice.
Rolling dice.
That's stupid. Because whenever I roll low, I fail. And I don't like to fail. I want to succeed all the time.
How is your
numbers? Numbers hurt my brain, and I can't do simple math.
Don't like math. See, I think I will try to. I am gonna DM a game at some point.
Oh, I finally convinced you. I've worn you down.
Yes.
I finally get to play. People out there, I finally get to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I get to fuck up all your shit.
Because I like acting, but I also like math, so I think I'll be good at it.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I like neither of those things, and yet I'm probably the best DM this side of the Mississippi. I would say I'm a pretty good DM.
You're a pretty good DM.
How many out of 10 would you give me in total out of all of our games?
9 out of 10 fancy goblins.
9 out of 10 fancy goblins.
Fancy goblins.
9 out of 10 fancy goblins.
How's your other group going though, where you are PC?
Yes, it's going good. I had to skip last session. Well, we actually didn't play.
That's my fault, yeah.
No, we actually didn't play because like, I think 1 or 2 people were like on vacation or something, so it kind of ended up working out well.
You played tomorrow though, right?
Yeah, we're playing tomorrow.
Yeah. Any interesting PCs or NPCs? Yeah, I know you playing like a rogue who's like kind of an asshole.
Wow.
I mean, no, not in like a bad way. Like asshole characters can be very interesting and fun if you like do them right. Which
says you. I'm the asshole, right?
I mean, like in many aspects, Deadpool is an asshole, and yet he's a lots of people's favorite superhero.
There's human, there's elf, there's dragonborn, and now there's assholeborn.
Assholeborn.
That's what I am. That's what I play. I'm the asshole rogue.
Yeah, your little butt baby. Came out of your mom's butthole.
You're a little butt baby. Actually, technically, I'm a stomach baby.
I'm also a stomach baby. We were both born through C-section.
Gross.
Gross.
Yes, and my fucking mother
tells you every day. I got this big ass scar all because of you.
Well, she doesn't have a scar from it, I don't think, because she doesn't show it to me. So it's either like in a part that's inappropriate to show me. She just talks about how long it took and how.
Well, I mean, C-sections usually the scar is like right here because they open that up and then take all the organs out to get to the uterus.
She doesn't have one.
Oh, must be really good stitches then.
Yeah.
Well, if it was an emergency C-section, I don't know how that. It might have been completely different. I don't know, but my mom has a scar that's like right there, but it's very.
Yeah, mine was an emergency because.
Mine was planned.
They thought the cord was wrapped around my neck. But actually, it turns out that I just didn't want to come out. Like, she was going into labor, and then I wasn't coming out, and the doctor was like, oh, he might be suffocated and dying. And I was just like, no, turn off the light. I don't want to go to school. Which pretty much accurately describes my entire life. It's like, ugh, I just don't want to do anything right now.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question, but I promise it's not because of what you think. But what time were you born?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'm
69.
Well, I was like, it would have been funny if it was like early in the morning. It'd be like, even before you were born, you didn't like getting up early, because you're more of a night owl.
Yeah, you're a fucking night owl.
I'm the opposite of a night owl.
Yeah, you're a ultra morning person. Well, you're not even a morning person because you're tired all the time.
I'm tired all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just a sleepy bitch.
Exactly. No joke, she could like sleep for 16 hours a day and still be tired.
Listen,
I'm listening.
Napping is fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
I find it so tedious.
I like napping.
Like, I like to nap because I need it to survive. Uh-oh.
No! Cool.
Alright.
Alright, we're back.
Just stop pooping out.
I apologize.
For like another 45 minutes and then we'll be good.
Yeah.
Alright.
Go back.
Gonna keep talking about D&D?
D&D.
Yes, in my online campaign where I play, I'm an actual PC, not a DM. I play a rogue, arcane trickster rogue, which is, it's so good.
So, do you have spells, or is it?
Yes.
Cool.
So this is the subclass of rogue that like gets spells,
Nice.
And then I started. My race is variant human, which gets oh shoot, what do you call them? You get a freaking what are the feats? There we go. I couldn't think of the word.
Oh.
Yeah, you get an optional feat at level 1, which I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant. I'm gonna go on a rant.
Go ahead.
So okay, so I know why they decided to give like Arcane Trickster at level 3 and basically all the classes, all the martial classes that get like magic and stuff. I understand like balance wise why they put the subclass at level 3, but to me it doesn't make sense like backstory wise. If you've dabbled in magic and then you go on an adventure 2 levels and then now you're suddenly magical. Like you weren't magical from the very beginning of level 1, which is kind of why like which is kind of like why people start at level 3 instead of level 1. And I think I'm going to start trying to do that from now on, because realistically there's no difference between starting at level 3 and level 1. It just it kind of solidifies more of your character from the very beginning.
There are a lot of DMs, especially if it's already planned to be a shorter campaign, where just everyone starts at level 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am going to study to be a DM, and
you don't have to study. You just do it.
I do good. So, because here's my issue, right?
Just do it.
Is that I
You just gotta start.
I'm very bad at memorizing all the rules.
No.
A lot of the rules make sense to me.
No, see, here's the magical thing, right?
I get to decide the rules.
No. Well, yes, that. But also, like, you learn as you do it. So if you fuck up on a thing or you don't know about it, you just write it down and then you go back to it later and you'll be like, oh, okay. And then the next session you bring it up and you're just like, hey guys, so actually the rule is this, so now on we're just gonna do this, and everyone's like, okay, because there's like 4,000 fucking pages of rules, and you're not gonna know all the shits. Like, some people are little autismos and memorize all the rules, and then they bring it up in the campaign, like, actually, the critical hit rules are in the player's handbook and in the DM side. It's actually this instead of this. Well, little Timmy, these individuals are known as rules lawyers.
Yes.
Well, little Timmy, actually, this is the way I fucking do it. So fuck you. I mean, sometimes it could be helpful just to like have a player who is knowledgeable of the rules, and if the DM's like, I don't know,
I'm not
and
sure.
then someone could be like, in the rules it says this. Like, oh, okay, we'll just go with that then. But if I have a pre-established rule, or if like I feel like it would fit the narrative more if this were to happen, and the actually guy kind of chimes in with his anime glasses and his fucking braces buck teeth and saying actually the rules don't stay that. You could just shut the fuck up, because sometimes I do things according to the rule of cool.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, Rule 0, DM can choose to do things, especially if it makes better sense within their campaign. But I'm just saying, like,
yes.
I'm worried about messing up obvious things, like order of initiative and things like that. Like one slip up of...
What do you mean order of initiative?
Well, accidentally skipping people in doing combat.
People will know when you skip them.
Okay.
Aaron. Because they'll be like, I didn't go. And you'll be like, shit. I just write it down. And I've been trying to use, because I know they have an initiative, there's like an initiative tracker or whatever, but I can't figure out how that shit works, so I just write it down. And that's just another app that I have to freaking deal with.
Yeah.
I have like 37 million apps open, and I wouldn't even consider myself like a really big technological DM, you know? Mm-hmm. Oh, I tooted.
I hope that picked up on the mic.
I really, yeah. I pooped myself. I gotta change my diaper wipey. So, what is your favorite monster?
My favorite monster?
Yes, your favorite monster in D&D. Is it a Moomba? Is it a Smeagol? Is it a Snaggle? Is it a Flum? Is it the Flum?
I mean, I don't really have a particular, like...
Is it the Flum? Yes or no?
I don't have a particular monster that I like to fight, but in terms of, like, design, I guess I think that griffins are pretty cool.
Griffins are pretty cool. You don't like Flumps?
You're making that up.
Am I?
Well, actually, I have no idea.
Am I making it up? Yeah.
Say it again.
Flump.
You're making it up. Look at that fucking thing. It looks like, oh, what's that other monster?
A Flump. What? What other monster? Which one?
The one you have the figure of right out here.
The Beholder?
Yeah, it looks like the Beholder's like shitty cousin that he doesn't like. He has to sit next to at Thanksgiving. He's like, ugh, fucking flump.
No, the Beholder has like a little poopy guy that comes out. What's the fucking small Beholder called? Shit.
The other thing is that I would love to do a homebrew
Which is a small Beholder
campaign where it's not in like a typical fantasy world, but then that would require me to figure out my own story, and I don't know how to do that.
Is that what they're called? I felt like they were called something different.
What do you mean?
I'm not saying it's a gazer, but I feel like there's another. The small Beholder. It says it's called a gazer, but I feel like there's another thingy. Like a. Yeah, I feel like there's like another. I guess they're called gazers or something. I don't know. I feel like there's another thing that like beholders poop out, and then they're like a little beholder familiar, like a small floating eyeball instead of a big floating eyeball. But I can't remember what they're called. I can't find it. Anyway, let's. So, what'd you say your favorite monster was?
A griffin?
A griffin? Why do you like griffin?
I think they're cool.
Yeah, but like why?
I don't know.
They look cool, or you like their mechanics?
I think they look cool. If you're talking about mechanics, I would have to do more research.
They just like attack.
Yeah.
They don't really do much.
Yeah. I guess in terms of...
In terms of D&D, they're kind of boring.
Yeah.
They just attack. You're a griffin, Peter. Peter!
How did I miss this fossil? I feel like fossils just show up in my inventory and I don't know how they got there.
Alright. Hey Aaron, guess what?
What's up?
Are you bungus or you dungus?
Here's a question.
Okay.
What if you were a class in D&D? What would you be? We've already established that I would be a wizard, but what would you be?
If I was a class in D&D?
Yeah.
So you would be a wizard?
Well, that's what you said.
I would be a wizard.
You think you would be a wizard?
No. What are you asking?
You said that I would be a wizard if I was a class in D&D a while back. And do you remember what your argument was?
What?
A long time ago, like before we moved in together. So not a long time ago. Less than about 6 months ago. You said if like real life people were assigned D&D classes, I would be a wizard.
You would be a wizard.
Yes.
Hmm.
And do you remember what your argument was?
Because you're weak.
No, you said it's because I have high intelligence but low wisdom.
I stand by that.
So what would you be?
I don't know. I'd be a stupid dumb himbo barbarian or something.
I think you would be a paladin.
Would I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Paladin's actually probably my favorite class.
Well, that works out then.
Yeah. I just like paladins. Because they can be a lot of different things. Like they're kind of like dumb himbos, but they're dumb himbos that can kind of do a lot, and then they can tank. I just like the fact that.
Oh, is that a glitch? That's not supposed to happen.
She got balls. She got big saggy balls.
It usually lands next to them.
I think it's because she was leaning down. She was leaning down and part of her girl cock fell out.
Really funny.
Oh, there's the red chick.
Yeah. She's pink.
You admitted she was red.
She's pink. Fuck you. Why are you eating a popsicle? Who told you I like lemonade? You heard wrong. What's my favorite drink? Something else. What's my favorite beverage?
What's your favorite beverage? Monster Energy drink.
Pee. Do you think this is long enough to write Blood of My Enemies?
Babe, I don't know. So your favorite monster's a griffin. What's my favorite monster? What do you think mine is?
What do I think your favorite monster is?
Yeah.
Probably something with a long name.
It's a flump.
A flump. A mind flayer.
A mind flayer?
Yeah.
No, I actually don't like mind flayers. I think they're kind of weird. I don't know. I actually don't really know. Maybe dragons, especially if they are within a dungeon.
Dragons are very cool. What is the
Green tea? Hey, that's what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah. What is the like?
Yeah, I like dragons. I like I think beholders are really cool. Yeah, I like liches. Although liches are kind of weak in 5th edition, don't at me.
I only know the lich from Adventure Time.
Yeah, well, liches originally came from Dungeons and Dragons.
That's cool.
The more you know. It's a pipe! Can you go down that pipe?
I can go down this
Ooh,
pipe.
it's down the pipe.
I think I don't have the other pipe set up, so I come out the other pipe. But I can put down a second pipe, and then I'll show up where the second pipe is.
Oh, okay.
Let me find my other pipe, and I can set it down and show you how it works.
Okay. Shut up that pipe so I can fucking blow it.
I was gonna ask a question, then I forgot what it was.
What? Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about dragons.
Yeah, what about them?
So, what is the difference in the colors of the dragons' significance?
They do
in D&D?
different things. So the red dragon breathes fire.
Got it.
The white dragon breathes ice. The green dragon breathes poison gas. And then the black dragon lives in a swamp.
Just lives in a swamp?
Yeah.
What is it? Was it breathed though? Anything?
I don't know.
It just lives in a swamp?
It breathes black. I think it breathes poison as well. I don't remember. And then the blue one breathes electricity.
Is there a difference in like HP and difficulty within them, or are they all okay?
Yes, the red dragons are usually the strongest.
Gotcha.
And then there's also the
Place
Oh.
the second pipe in my house.
Actually, this is something I didn't even know.
What?
So apparently, okay, they breathe acid, but then the green dragon breathes poison. I didn't know there was a differentiation between those damage
Between
types.
acid and poison?
Yeah,
I guess-
I thought they were like the same, but I guess not.
I guess it feels like something that would have been considered the same in earlier editions of D&D, but it now kind of makes sense to me why they would differentiate it.
Yeah.
I gotta
But yeah,
zip my
blue breathes lightning, red breathes fire, white is cold damage, which is like basically ice. So yeah, and then there's the chromatic dragons, which are like the evil dragons, and then the metallic dragons, which are based off of metals, which are the good dragons. You know what I mean? Like the bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah.
Those are all the good guy
Good guy
dragons. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then green dragon, I think, is canonically like the easiest, and then red is the hardest. And I think it's green, blue, black, and then red in order from easiest to hardest. According to challenge rating.
Cool.
Yeah. You have any other D&D related questions? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Next question. Aaron.
Yeah.
What's your favorite class in D&D?
That is an excellent question.
What's your favorite class?
I don't know.
What's your favorite as? Is it me?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of like stats and abilities, or strictly in terms of like aesthetics?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, putting both in there.
I like Paladin. Yeah, my top three are the Paladin, Rogue, and Wizard are my top three. I love them very much. They're my babies. Okay, so the reason I like Paladin, I'm giving you time to think about your choice.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason I like Paladin is because I like the big buff boy aesthetic, alright? And I'm not about that angry boy aesthetic, okay? I'm not a fucking dumb himbo barbarian that likes to beat things up. I'm all about serving Jesus and smiting people until they either die or convert to Jesus. That's all I'm about. And my favorite god is Bahamut, which is like the ultra giga Chad dragon that is like the lawful good guy. And I like him because he's basically like Dragon Jesus. So
Nice.
yeah, he I just imagine myself like as a paladin, just like beating people up, converting to people to Dragon Jesus. Yeah, and then being a fucking self-righteous asshole about it. But you know, I like paladins because just there are so many different flavors of paladin, and you know, each of the paladin subclasses are like pretty varied, and they all get their like own unique abilities and stuff. And they're simple. They got the sword, they got the magic, they got the damage magic and the healing magic. So it's kind of like three classes in one. You got your fighter, you got a little bit of like traditional like arcane magic in there, like kind of wizard a little bit. And then you've got a little bit of cleric. So it's kind of like three classes in one. You get a little triple class.
That's cool.
And none of each of those abilities kind of feel degraded by one another. Like all the fightery like weapon stuff seems like pretty fleshed out. Like all the other magical stuff that you can do based on your like subclass is pretty fleshed out, I think. And then like all your Healy stuff is pretty fleshed out. Like obviously you do as much magical stuff as like the wizards or the clerics or whatever, and you can't do as much like fightery stuff as the fighter. But I feel like they each have their own kind of avenue to work together to make the paladin successful. So that's kind of why I like the paladin. You get a bunch of different flavors of D&D. And then on top of that, there's a bunch of different flavors of paladin, so you can play your paladin however you want. And then I like rogue because I like a lot of utility within my D&D, which kind of goes against the paladin stuff, right? Because paladins are more like big damage himbo bimbo guys. They're like they do the big damage. And rogues are kind of big damage too, but they're big damage, but then you can like do other stuff with rogues. Like there are a lot of utility stuff, like checking for traps, and like sneaking and stealing stuff. And a lot of rogues like to have high charisma, so they can be like the face. So yeah, I don't know. And then with Arcane Trickster, like specifically, you get magic, so you get like a lot of illusions and stuff, and you get mage hand, so you can like be talking to someone and have high charisma and distract them, while your little hand goes behind the counter and like takes their wallet or something. So yeah, I like that. And then I like wizards because who doesn't like wizards? They can literally do anything except not die. So yeah, wizards are basically the ultimate like magical utility / damage class. You can shoot a man with a fireball and kill him, and then you can do a bunch of other stuff. Like you can do mage hand, you can do prestidigitation, you can do teleport, you can do identify, you can do a bunch of utility spells. So you can wizard is probably the most like customizable class in terms of like
Fighting
like,
style?
yeah, well, not just fighting style, but like utility, I guess.
Yeah.
Utility / fighting style.
I feel like wizards have notoriously low HP though.
Yeah, which is how you balance them. Which, by the way, is not even a fucking complaint. All the people who play wizards and say that wizards are so fucking weak, because you can get shield at level 1 and cast it as a reaction. So you basically just take, well, it uses up a spell slot, but you can still do it. Plus, you're gonna be in the back casting freaking spells anyway, so it's not like you're gonna get hit half the time.
Yep.
All the freaking barbarians and paladins and fighters are gonna be up at front taking your shit.
Yeah, fireball has insane range. Why are you standing so close?
Yeah. So what's your favorite class, babe?
As I don't know.
What's your favorite class, babe?
Druid is definitely up there. I like Druid.
Yeah. How you liking Warlock? You're playing a Warlock in our campaign.
Honestly, Warlock kind of sucks.
Well, you don't use any of your spells.
Well, I only have 2 spell slots, and
you only cast Eldritch Blast.
I guess I just
You kind of just stand in the back and cast Eldritch Blast.
My big issue, I think, is not that I just have 2 spell slots, is that I never really picked, like, what thing I was gonna be in the group. Like, I wasn't, like, I didn't choose, like, a bunch of, like, I could have chosen, like, a bunch of stealth spells or a bunch of healing spells, but I didn't really do either of that. I just chose spells that I thought were cool, and now I'm kind of at a point where, well, all my spells are useless in the situation.
Right.
So that is on me.
Yeah, I definitely, well, the Warlock is basically the cantrip, like, invocation kind of class. So it's definitely built for more specificity rather than generality. Because I feel like the Wizard is just, like, good in all situations. And then the Warlock can be good in the same way, but it's kind of hard to do that. So I feel like, yeah, you definitely need to kind of... Warlock is one of those classes where you kind of have to look at all the options beforehand and kind of just go one direction with it. Which I guess is beneficial in some sense because you can go back and play Warlock again, even with the like exact same subclass, and get like a different feel because you can choose different invocations and kind of just play the same but a completely different character almost. But yeah.
One class though that I want to try at some point is Artificer, which I think is really cool. Which I think sounds really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably my least favorite class, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. The idea of medieval Tony Stark kind of... I don't like. I don't like it. It just... I don't know. It doesn't really fit in with my kind of vision for D&D, which is more high fantasy.
I'm more just like...
You and your fucking weird steampunk over there.
Yeah, I mean...
No, get out. Get that. No steampunk allowed. I don't like it. Crystals and healing magic only, please. All my flying ships are powered by crystals and love juices.
In terms of how me and you like
me,
it definitely shows that you're more you enjoy watching Critical Role more, and I enjoy watching Dimension 20 more.
I like Dimension 20.
But you like Critical Role more.
Yeah, probably. Well,
I don't.
Not this most recent season. Yeah, Exandria Unlimited. Nothing to do with. I don't know. I just wasn't enthralled by the characters. I kind of thought they were kind of boring. I don't know. I got like an hour or two into the first episode and I'm like, nothing's really happening. What?
Oh, yeah. I forgot that it's fucking
I don't know.
Animal Crossing, and I gotta wait until midnight to do anything else.
Ugh. See, Animal Crossing is dumb. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like this most recent season. I may go back to it eventually. I watched like an hour or two of like the first episode, and I wasn't really excited about it anyway. Originally, just because I saw it and I was like, ooh, Exandria Unlimited, and I was like, oh, Matt Mercer is not DMing? And no, I'm not poo-pooing on what's her name, Abria Iyengar, because she's great, and she's she's like one of the most famous DMs aside from like Matt Mercer or like Chris Perkins or any of those guys. So she's like top tier DM. I just think like, I don't know,
not enjoying the campaign.
Yeah, well, the chemistry of I feel like it's more so the chemistry of the characters that kind of throw me off, because they have Matt and like two of the original cast. They have Liam and Ashley, which I think Liam's character is pretty milquetoast, which is kind of surprising from him, because I feel like he generally brings like more. He's had my favorite characters from like each of the cast, and then I was really surprised about Ashley's character. I mean, I'm not a huge like Pike fan, and I'm not a huge fan of, oh gosh, what's her freaking character's name in season 2? Yasha fan, like that. But I mean, they were serviceable characters, but I feel like her character in the Exandria Unlimited show is I don't know. It's definitely a her character, and I feel like she enjoys playing that type of character, but I just find it to be kind of boring. And I also find her little monkey companion to be super annoying, because she has a little animal familiar that follows her around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of the scenes that the familiar is in just take up way too much time. It just takes up so much more time, and I'm not one of those people who find monkeys to be charming. I find them to be very annoying, because one can only take so many banana and poop throwing jokes before you're like, okay, this is all that this is gonna be.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of how silly is this campaign gonna be, and you kind of have to agree on the level of silliness, like you gotta kind of feel the energy of the campaign on day one if you're doing.
Oh, it's a fucking big old fish. Yeah. It's an arapaima.
Yeah. If I feel like if you're doing it, not that I am an expert on actual play shows.
Yeah, me neither. I'm a fucking noob, so you can roast me all you want. No, but I don't know. I didn't particularly enjoy the show, and I think the newer cast members' characters were all kind of I think Matt's character was the most interesting out of them all, which is kind of surprising because
Matt is very good at making characters when he's a PC, I will say.
Yeah. Matt Mercer is just a freaking rock star, bro. He is my numero uno inspiration for D&D. And if you enjoy the show, like, I'm not trying to poo-poo on your enjoyment. I'm just stating my criticisms of the show. And again, I haven't watched really enough of it to, like I said, I only watched like 1 or 2 hours of the first episode, so I feel like I have, I'm working with very limited information, and it could just be like the first episode, everyone's trying to get familiar with each other, because my chief complaint is that they're just the chemistry isn't really there, versus like all the cast of regular Critical Role was playing in a home game, so all that kind of familiarity was already there, so they just kind of jumped into it, and it felt like everyone had charisma with each other, and they already had developed those relationships. But that's just my little opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the on Dimension 20, the one season that I was like, man, I probably won't like this, was Escape from the Blood Keep, because it had like half like college humor comedians and half, and like the other people were like, Matt Mercer. So I was like,
also Matt Mercer's super handsome.
Yeah. So I was like, how is the chemistry with that gonna work? Because they're doing they're doing a evil campaign. I was like, it's probably gonna be really serious and stuff, and all the other things on Dimension 20 are like more lighthearted and funny. But they made somehow they made it work, because Escape from the Blood Keep is fucking amazing.
I thought it was boring.
You thought it was boring?
Yeah, I only really watched Fantasy. I didn't really watch all the other ones.
I do feel like Brennan does have an eye for really wanting to make things be like a movie, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't.
I don't know. I think I just like my generic fantasy.
You just like your generic fantasy. You don't want to escape too much from the book. the Unsleeping City is too much change for you?
No, I just didn't watch it. I don't care.
Mm.
I mean, Brennan's a fantastic DM, and he does a lot of things better than even Matt Mercer. And as far as like D&D actual play shows go, I think his are probably better, just because they're like way more accessible. But
Yeah.
I just like Critical Role better because I'm a fucking generic fantasy nerd. So
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
don't at me, okay? I like my grand storylines. I don't like laughing at my table. I want to be serious. I'm super serial about it. Super fucking serious.
I'm not.
I am. I don't like silly in my campaigns. I like it serious.
Well, then you're not going to be invited to my silly campaign.
No, why can't you just play serious?
I will do one serious campaign, and then I'm going to do a silly campaign, and you're not invited. Because I like playing D&D the way I like.
Well, it's fine to be like a little silly, but I don't know. I just don't like it when it's just like he he shoots his little fart beam at the bad guy and he beats him.
Well, I understand that, because there's a part like that in Mice and Murder that I hate so much. I'm like, you're really gonna make the most stupid decision for a joke. But I mean, in a lot of cases, like the silliness, like more adds to like just the general world building, and doesn't really
there can
affect
be
the
a
story.
little silly. I like a nice balance between seriousness and silliness, where it's like there's slightly more seriousness than silliness. I think there needs to be like a 70-30 or a 60-40 balance between 60% serious and maybe 40% funny.
I think you would like the Unsleeping City if...
I think I probably would. I'm just lazy and I don't want to watch all that content. Because I'm lazy.
Okay.
I don't know. There's only so much time in the day, right?
I guess.
Right? You go to work for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
You come home. You eat. You do the chores. You watch 16 hours of YouTube, and then you go to bed. There's just not enough time to fit. There's just not enough time to watch all the Unsleeping City. There's just not enough time. Between the chores and the eating and the exercising.
Rewatching the first campaign of Critical Role.
I don't rewatch.
You don't rewatch stuff,
No,
but I'm just saying you watched Critical Role all the way through.
I did. Both campaigns, in fact.
The Unsleeping City is shorter than both of those.
No, I don't want to watch it because it's too much content. Yes. And just to show you how much of a fucking super fan I am, I watched all of Campaign 1 of Critical Role after Campaign 2 already came out. So yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, yeah, well, to be fair, I kind of cheated a little bit because what I did was I kind of just watched the first couple of episodes of like both campaigns, not at the same time, like one at a time, and then I kind of just watched through most of the important bits and kind of just got recaps from people online and stuff, and then for campaign 2 I just kind of did the same thing and just skipped to the most recent episode. So I got all the information, so I technically didn't watch all those episodes, but I mean I went back and just watched all the important bits and got most of the information of what I needed to get caught up, and then I started watching from the most recent episode, and then just kept watching all the way through from there. So yeah, and it's definitely much easier to watch it all as it's happening versus like trying to watch all that content after the fact. And I feel like because I took a pause because of the pandemic, so that gave me enough time to catch up on like Campaign 2 and like watch most of the actual videos and stuff. So I'm definitely more knowledgeable on Campaign 2 than Campaign 1. What you doing? Making a little penis?
You want me to make a penis?
What are you doing?
I was making a pond.
Why make a pond?
Cause I can.
Okay. Make a pond then.
I can make a pond.
So what is your least favorite class? Mine is probably Artificer, and yeah, mine's probably Artificer. I just don't like it. But you can like it. It's your thing. And it used to, for a long time, it used to be either Druid or Cleric, but I've since come around to them and I like them.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I was like, Druid's stupid. It's just wizard, but nature magic. But then I was like, you could transform into like a little animal. Because I didn't think about the utility of transforming into like a little animal. And then I thought more about it and I'm like, you can kind of just transform into like anything small, like a fly or something. And then just literally like spy on anything. So you're more of a rogue than the actual rogue.
I feel like Bard is actually my least favorite class.
Bard? You don't like freaking Bard? But Bard is amazing.
Well, okay, yes. I like Bards in theory, but I feel like Bards a lot of time are like, unless your Bard has some healing spells, your Bard is pretty much useless.
That's not even true. That's not even true. You're speaking from ignorance.
I accidentally made a penis, I think. It's a little
Is that what you think? Is that what you think penises look like? Oh gosh. Wait. Animal Crossing? Yes.
Yes.
And D&D? Yes, we're talking about D&D. So we're talking about our favorite
and least favorite classes.
Yes. Favorite classes and least favorite classes. My least favorite class is Artificer because I'm a high fantasy nerd and I don't really like my steampunk and high fantasy to mix. I like them separate. And so her least favorite class is Bard, and she is ignorant on the power of the Bard.
Well, okay.
Like, listen, Bard is not my favorite class, but I do love me some Bards, and being a musician myself, I have a respect for the Bard. So you come out here with this slander of the Bard, saying like, if your Bard doesn't have healing spells, is a useless Bard. Like, the Bard has other utility spells, like buffing spells that make it like really good, and it has the freaking bardic inspiration, which is like awesome. These words have no value to me, but I love this. Thank you.
I'm the one who is playing the Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
right now.
she's the one that's playing the Animal Crossing. So we kind of just talk about stuff that we're interested in, and then we kind of just have Animal Crossing in the background for people who like Animal Crossing.
I've spent the last several streams just like making my island very boring so that I can redo it.
Yeah, because she's a boring little boy.
Hey, now.
You're kind of dressed like a boy right now.
I am dressed like a boy right now. What you want from me?
You're dressed in a little Hillary Clinton pantsuit.
You shut the fuck up right now. I'm not dressed like Hillary Clinton.
I design people's D&D characters and definitely want to get involved, so I'll just paint and enjoy.
Aw, very cool.
Yeah, well, see, that was my thing, right? Because I've loved D&D since like late middle school, early high school, since I found out what it was, and so I was like, I loved fantasy, right? I loved Lord of the Rings, and I loved like a lot of these fantasy tropes, and I kept noticing these fantasy tropes, right, and everything. I'm in my job, lol. Yeah. Right. So, I kept noticing these fantasy tropes and like all these shows. I'm like, huh, there's like these common things where they talk about like lawful good and like all these monsters are kind of the same. So I wonder what this stems from. And it all stemmed from like, and I like JRPGs too, so that's kind of why I like fantasy stuff. So it all kind of stemmed from D&D, and I was like, so D&D is basically like the ultimate video game, which you can either become your own game designer or you can like make unlimited amounts of choices as like a character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so freaking cool. So my freaking huge nerd brain was exploding, and I wanted people to play with me, but then I thought like people would think I was like a huge nerd, so I just never brought it up. I've loved it, but I got shamed. Yeah, so that was my thing too, right? I got shamed for it, so I shoved it away, and now I'm grown and not give a fuck. Yeah, so that was my thing too, right? I thought I was gonna get shamed for it. Like I thought I was gonna be like, friends, my best friends, I want to play D&D with you, and I thought they would laugh at me, so I just never brought it up, and then I always regret it because here's the thing, right? If you bring up D&D or anything you love to your friends and they shame you for it, they're not your friends, so you can dump them because they can go kick some rocks because they're trash.
I agree.
So if you want to play D&D, either just go online and find people, because I'm a forever DM, because I DM for her and a bunch of other work friends.
Well, I'm gonna DM though.
Well, I know you're gonna.
Eventually.
I know eventually, but right now I'm DMing, so I just wanted to be a player. So I asked around and I found some people online. There's a Reddit group called r/looking for group. So that's where I found my group, and you'll definitely find a lot more people if you want to DM, and if you're the one interested in like D&D in general, you're probably gonna. I'll play it alone in my head. That's kind of how I started too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're probably gonna have to DM, especially like if you bring it up to like your friends, or if you want to look for groups online. I mean, I just kind of asked like a bunch of different people, because in the looking for group threads on Reddit, like everyone posts a bunch of different things. So I found like a bunch of threads, and I just was like, hey, I'm interested in playing in your game. Hey, I'm interested in playing for your game. Sounds like a group for swingers, but I appreciate it. No, it's like it's basically I treated it like a job, right? Where I applied to like a bunch of different ones, and then of course, like almost none of them ever responded to me, but the one group that did, I'm loving it right now, and it's totally awesome. But yeah, just Bubbly Bear 99, just shoot your shot, bro. Just shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Because when I originally brought D&D up to the people we're playing with now, I didn't think they'd like it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that really sucks. Yeah. So she's in the hospital.
Uh-oh.
So yeah. I think though you'll definitely. Also, who's on your island? Yeah, who's on your island?
Oh, I can show you. Map. So the only like well-known ones I have is Lucky and Cherry, but I like my other ones. Don't have any like.
Yeah. Well, don't just live vicariously through other people. You can, like I said, you can find groups online. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Listen, you probably have a lot to offer, and you probably have a lot of unique individual experiences just by living in the hospital a lot of the time. So I feel like you can definitely bring that to your D&D.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
D&D has also my mom's house is still on here from when she was playing this game. D&D is extremely versatile, and if you
Yeah. I mean, as long as you have a Like a laptop and a decent internet connection. Buy like a little headset or whatever you can play online.
Why is this one area?
Because you can get the D&D Beyond app, which is like the official app for like character building, and it like does all your rolls for you, so it kind of helps you out with learning the rules and stuff. I'm a villager hunter when I'm not being stabbed by doctors, so I know all your villagers.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't have.
Awesome.
I don't have any of the. Ooh, they're talking. I don't have any of the
Aaron, you need to.
ones that everyone else wants.
You need to get the membership so people can send us mail. Because someone else was complaining about wanting to send us mail or whatever, and then you didn't do it.
Yeah, I know. I let my membership expire. I need to get a new one. I'm sorry. I'll do that soon.
Yeah. But yeah. What other D&D related things you want to talk about? So okay, so I know we kind of glossed over this earlier, but justify why you don't like Bard.
It's not that I don't like Bard. It's just that out of all the like main classes, it's probably my least favorite. Just because I prefer characters that are not entirely charisma.
Right. Also, what does she mean by that? I don't know anything about.
I've rehomed 600 of them. I was tired of people getting scammed.
Thank you for your advice. Oh yeah, no problem. Happy to get. I love giving people advice. That's kind of part of my job.
Right.
In the real life. So.
She might be talking about people buying and selling villagers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Oh man.
I honestly am not a huge fan of it. I wish people wouldn't do that, but I mean, people get really obsessed over this game.
See, here's the thing. This is more of a your game than it is a my game.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier on stream.
Yeah, it reminds me of the thing on Twitter where there was some girl that's like, I have Raymond in boxes, $100 for him or whatever, and someone was like,
she posted in the chat.
Villagers, okay, we get scanned out of the new villagers. Yeah, for sure. And someone just like had Raymond and they're like, okay, you said he was in boxes, and she's like, yeah, that means you just get to look at him. It's like, no, it doesn't. That means that you have Raymond ready to move out and that I can get him to move to my island. So you lied to me. She was like, well, I didn't know that. It's like, well, why are you on here? Also, why did you think I would spend $100? Why do you think a person would spend $100 to look at a villager? But yeah, people get obsessed over the new villagers in this game.
Yeah. All right, so continue your ignorant point about bards.
I feel like a lot of people play bards the same way, where it's like they.
That's not even true.
And I wish they wouldn't. I don't know. I was like, where is my bard who is just simply like, I don't know, isn't a singer, doesn't play
an instrument?
Doesn't play
wow.
an instrument or anything. Yeah.
The class is based around musical talent. I wonder why they all sing and play an instrument.
But why does it have to be that? Why can't they be like an actor or a painter? Or I feel like they just that makes just as much sense for their magic ability to come from that.
You know what? You actually bring up a really good point, and I didn't even think about it. You've changed my mind.
I can't tell if you're being facetious or not.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
You actually did bring up a good point that I didn't really think about. But music is better than those things. Fuck you. There's a Reddit and Discord of people giving up their villagers and trading them even for free, and I do the same since I've seen so many people get taken advantage of. So if I find villagers I know people like and I get them, I give them away to spread the happiness. Aw.
That's so sweet.
That's so beautiful.
I don't worry about the new villagers. I just like...
You should write a book or something on how amazing of a person you are.
Yeah, honestly.
That's such like a beautiful story. Like, she's in the hospital and she's like, I want to make other people happy. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry because that's so amazing.
I know.
You know, sometimes I think, man, people kind of suck. But then there's people,
there's
there's
always...
people like Bubbly Bear 99 who
Yeah.
like only wants to spread joy.
Yeah. Good for you, Bubbly Bear. Is it 99?
Yeah, it's Bubbly Bear 99.
You're closer to the chat than I am.
Yeah.
For...
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm dyslexic, so...
Yeah, you're... My vision sucks and he's dyslexic, so I'm sorry if we read the chat wrong.
Yeah. If I was gonna write a book, it would be about many other things.
That's fair.
I think y'all should do a therapy Thursday. Maybe.
Perhaps.
I'm a psychologist, so.
You're a psych major.
I am. Well, I graduated, so.
Yeah, the psych graduate.
Yeah, psych graduate. Yeah. I don't know. Right now, dyslexia and blind gang. Right. I have a little bit of dyslexia. It's more so like dyscalculia with me. Numbers just destroy me. Like, I have to read over the same exact number, and I sound it out too. Like, I literally say the numbers, and whenever I type it or write it, I always mix them up. I'm like, I sounded it out. How could I possibly have messed up me writing it? Therapy Thursday is a day where I do small things for myself and others. Well, yeah, but that's like technically part of my job, so it's like therapy Monday through Friday for me.
Yeah.
At least.
Well,
I don't know about you.
You are a social worker, so it makes
Yes.
sense for you. I should do more, especially since I feel since I work from home, I need to really kind of get out and
Yeah.
help people more.
You should volunteer or something.
I could.
Yeah. I buy local flowers from the shop and I give them away to strangers. That's so amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Are you even real? Are you a real person? Because that's like that's so beautiful. Well, what about yourself?
I don't know. Back when I lived in Chattanooga, and I worked downtown there because Chattanooga had a fairly large homeless population. I would occasionally buy homeless people food during my breaks. Usually it wasn't much.
Yeah, you need to be kind of yourself. True. Which is kind of like, you know, I definitely represent, being a social worker, I definitely represent like an underserved population, but make a dinner that's a little more work than you'd like. Yeah. I definitely leave work at the door when I'm like done with work.
Yeah, for sure.
So I like the work time to be dedicated to other people and then the home time to be dedicated to me. Because initially when I started the job, I felt like I made it all about them, and I kind of got anxious about it. Because to tell you the truth, some people just don't want to be helped, which is really sad.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a part of the job. Yeah, be mindful, enjoy the experience. You don't need more than kindness is free. Yes, definitely, for sure. Yeah, kindness is definitely free.
When are they gonna let us put rugs outside?
I don't know.
Ugh.
Love yourself, Aaron.
I will.
Love yourself. No, I take care of myself. I work out. I eat healthy sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I never.
We had we made a healthy dinner tonight.
We did.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of pasta, a little bit of chicky
and
a little
broccoli.
bit of broccoli, vegetable. Yeah. No, I definitely take time for myself.
What am I gonna do with all this space now that it's empty and not crowded?
I'm also in therapy IRL, but I actually just technically graduated from therapy.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like I was definitely harder on myself previously, and I think with therapy, like working through all that, because oh, thank you. Because definitely back then, like before I started therapy, I thought I was definitely like a woe is me type of person. Like this is like my situation. Like, oh, I thought it was unfair and this, that, and the other. And number one, it was part of like I needed to kind of control my ego, and another part of it is I just needed to accept certain things or limitations within my life and kind of look at things differently. Like I was definitely hard on myself, but then I had to realize like how much progress I actually made and how good at things I actually am, and like I just kind of had to come to the realization like, oh, I'm not a stupid piece of shit. That's basically it. I was like, if I wasn't perfect, then I wasn't good enough. But I had to realize like that's not realistic. So yeah, it was just like me being okay with making mistakes, and you know, just liking what I like and not trying to please other people and just doing things for myself. But
oh, I want to show.
I've been in therapy for like 9 years. Yeah, I should have been in therapy since I was like 13, because I feel like that's when a lot of the problems. Well, even before then, actually.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know how messed up your mind is. Like, just for so long, like I was reinforcing those neural pathways to be like super critical and negative self-talk and stuff like that. And that's a genetic component, because I just have like really high neuroticism, and then that's also like a environmental component as well. Just because of my family, they kind of they had like a high expectations for me, and that's not their fault. I mean, if they had low expectations for me, then my life would probably have ended up a lot worse. Like, you know, you could get by with like F's in school and whatever. But you know, it can end up putting a bad mindset. Yeah, perfection is definitely a dumb concept, and yeah, it's just you just have to realize like you can't be like that person you really want to be. It's definitely good to like strive for improvements, but like just obsessing over that is like not good. Do you have anything to add, babe?
Not really. I mean, I definitely feel like I've been privileged with having generally okay mental health my whole life. But I definitely think that I should have gone to therapy sooner due to my trichotillomania.
Yeah.
But I guess my mom was just too proud to do that first.
Yeah.
My mom was.
There's definitely a stigma of like mental health treatment that I've had to demystify for a lot of people. Also, she said she saved up lunch money to go to her first session of therapy. That's rough, buddy. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Everyone should go to therapy. Yes, everyone should. Even if they have relatively good mental health, you should go to therapy. Just because you don't know about certain things. Like even if you think you have like good mental health, like, oh, I don't have anxiety, depression, or anything, like there's still things that you could deal with, like you could have like relationship problems, or like you could have problems with maintaining good healthy social relationships, or like you know, just dealing with stress at work or at school or whatever, and just, you know, have better healthy coping mechanisms. Because low-key, I think a lot of people are like way more sad and depressed than they would like to admit, but they use that their alcohol for their unhealthy coping mechanism, and food as well.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I think a lot of people in the U.S. especially are like overweight, is because alcohol and food are like both the biggest negative coping mechanisms ever, and then that just leads to like that self-destructive cycle.
The amount of people that in which like their environment just kind of breeds like their only sort of form of happiness being from food scares me. Like, I feel like there are so many people out there who just like don't have healthy, enjoyable hobbies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well. Okay. Also, the stream kind of lagged a little bit, so.
Oh.
I think we're good now. It was just a little lag spike. Oh.
Oh.
No, come on.
Stay green. If we crash, I apologize.
Come on, Comcast. No. Okay. I think it's good. It was just a little bit. No. Every time I say it's good, it just crashes a little bit.
Everybody hold on to your butts.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely helps talking about it from an outside perspective.
All right. Is it okay? No. Is it working now? Are we okay?
Yeah. I think it's working now. Yeah, our internet service provider is kind of buns, so we get lag spikes sometimes. Oh shit! They heard me talking about how they were buns. But yeah, definitely talking about it from an outside perspective is good. And then, yeah, 3-inch binder of my coping mechanisms. Yes, healthy coping mechanisms is very good. I choose to work out, although I haven't been eating well.
It's not like you've been eating horrible. I feel like you should give yourself some credit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not eating like the worst I could ever eat, but I feel like I could be eating better. So that's something I need to work on, because I've gained some weight, but yeah. I'll lose it.
Is there anything if there's anything you want me to get at the grocery store tomorrow, just send me a text.
Nah, I trust you. Although I will say I wasn't the biggest fan of the sloppy joes.
Okay.
So.
Well, I
no offense.
No, it's totally fine. I get it. I definitely well, first of all, it was ground turkey instead of ground beef, which is
that's probably
one reason why. And also, I thought we had 2 packs of the seasoning, and we only had 1, so it was under seasoned.
I knew I needed help when I was attempting to self-diagnose the voices in my head at 6. Oh yeah, that's yeah. There's definitely a lot of that with my job as well. It's sometimes really scary when like you're talking with people, and then they're like, yeah, I hear voices and they tell me to like to harm myself or whatever, and I'm like, yeesh. So Yeah, I definitely not experiencing that for myself, but I know about that. So yeah, definitely can be difficult. But fortunately, if you stay on top of it, it can be pretty manageable. It's just the staying on top of it which is hard, especially like if you're from a lower income bracket, which is why a lot of the more homeless population is still homeless. My authors are pretty cool. That's so good. I have a cool job where it's fulfilling an errand as a corporate chill. No, you have a cool job too.
I have a cool job.
She works at TikTok.
I work for TikTok. I got 10,000 bells from that present.
Man, I wish the sky would drop money for me. I only have one problem, and we agreed he's the devil. I love that. I love that so much.
That's so funny.
That's so funny.
You'd write a book and be a comedian.
Right. No, I just imagine it like all your like your voices are like really chill, and then there's like the one misogynistic asshole in your head, and you just like just shit on him at the same time. Just roast him. Yeah, that's my headcanon.
Oh, sorry.
You tired?
I'm getting a little tired.
Comedy to cope. Yeah, comedy is definitely a good coping mechanism. Yeah, and my last therapy session was like, yeah, just people are just taking themselves way too seriously. They just need to laugh more, just in general. I'm like, yeah. This tea is good. I'm drinking tea right now.
You like your tea?
We gang up on him 24/7. Yes, I love that.
You want to watch me catch this cicada husk?
Is it a husk? Oh
It's
yeah,
a husk.
it kind of is.
It will not fly away, but it can fall off if I miss.
I make all my doctors laugh. Yes, you should probably make your doctors laugh too, because they have crippling medical debt and they work too many hours. They do get paid enough, though, I will say. Nurses are probably super underpaid, though.
Yeah.
There's the one joke from that '70s show where gosh, I don't know the characters from that '70s show. I just know the one clip where she's a nurse and she's talking to the main character who's like her son, and she's like, don't make nurses angry. They keep doctors from killing you. And I'm like, yeah, that's so true. I had a grand mal seizure today, and when I came to, all I said was, bro, that was crazy. Can't do that again. Well, I'm sorry about your seizure, but like, yeah, I'm glad you can definitely like laugh it off. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but like I said, I don't really know your situation.
Oh man.
What?
Is it 10? Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it's just about 10.
Ugh. They kicking me out.
What do you mean they're kicking you out?
They're kicking me out because it's 10. They're
Oh,
closed.
because the store is closed?
Yeah, the store's closed.
They gotta go home.
You're right.
They can't work all night, Aaron.
You're right. You're right. It does remind me of City Folk, where if you do go at night, you got to meet the night work people. There's a little Easter egg, like, oh, I've never, because you know when you're 10, you don't get to stay up that late to see those people, and one day you do, and you're like, oh, that's cool.
Too realistic, kicking me out past 10, but what about my Cheetos? True.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the one criticism about where we went to college, right?
I know.
Because they didn't have... everything closed at like 10.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid because of the college campus. Everyone stays up late.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to have our last class get out at 8, and then all the cafeteria closes at 8:30. It's like, what? What do you... by the time it's 8:30, I'll have walked all the way to the...
To the what?
Cafeteria.
There we go.
It took me a second. I'm sorry.
It took you a second. You had a brain fart.
I am more of a morning person, for
True.
sure.
Yeah. Speaking of morning, I like your little Windows computer.
You like it? This is where I stream in Animal Crossing.
I wish we had a fancy schmancy PC setup like that.
Yeah, me too. Wish we had a.
This
face
is
cam.
our. I know we're not face camming right now. We may eventually, but our setup is very ratchet.
Yes.
I will say.
We're definitely on a budget.
Yeah.
Streamers on a budget.
Well, I'm a social worker, so I can, and unfortunately, I make more than she
you're a
does.
social worker and you
So
make more money
it's
than me.
right. So it's
So-
just like, I'm in a notoriously underpaid profession, and I make more than you. So we're fucked.
Well, to be fair, you don't work for the government. You do.
No, I work for a nonprofit, so it's a little bit better. Well, I get paid by the government technically, but
Yeah.
yeah, I live in a small town. We have one big store, and most of the stores close at 5 and are open 3 days a week. Social worker just does so. True. Yeah. Well, it's just fucky because like the politicians will be like, oh, we'll just put more. Nonprofit should have been assigned. Well, yeah. Right. No. I mean, yeah, well, politicians will just be like, well, we should put more money into, like, housing and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't really actually do anything, right? Because what ends up happening is, as soon as you put all that money out, like, the people at the top who manage... And I'm not saying, like, my company is guilty of this specifically, but, like, all the people who are, like, not technically CEOs, but whatever the nonprofit or, like, government work equivalent is of that, just rake in more money. I was watching, like, a bunch of videos on this, actually, recently, and there was the guy in the video was, like, breaking down, like, all the salaries of the people in charge, and he was like looking at specifically like the larger cities like California and New York, I think, but this kind of applies equally across the board. But he was like, why do these people need like a six-figure salary? Like, why do these people need to be making $200,000, $500,000, $100,000 for you know, for this kind of work when they could be making not as much, and we have more money to allocate towards actual housing, because that's our main problem right now. It's just like there's a lot of people that need housing, but there's nowhere to put people, and like that rising housing prices and the gentrification is just like screwing everything over. So. And, you know, I get it to an extent, right? Because you want your neighborhoods to look nice and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's just, where do people who are, you know, who have very low income or on disability supposed to live? It sucks. You're getting screwed by the system too, but that's why we have Animal Crossing to be our version of dictators, right? Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's why we have video games. Just we can be on our own worlds and hopefully make our own worlds to be better. Yeah. And only put money into only one explosive fireworks. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into all that, but that's definitely an issue too. I don't even. Yeah, I'm not as pessimistic to say like, oh, the system is completely fucked up and nothing can be changed, because a lot of it has been built on like good intentions, and I think ultimately like people want what's good for humanity. It's just there's a lot of ignorance on the human experience, and I think like a lot of the solutions are very like low effort solutions, like like I said, politicians would be like, oh, just throw more money at it and it'll fix itself, but that's not generally the case. It just exactly, nerds for the win. Yeah, nerds have done high fantasy is where I live. Nerds, yes, high fantasy is amazing. It's my favorite thing ever, which is why I love D&D. But nerds have done so much. All the smart people will eventually figure out how to create an amazing, awesome, totally rockin' place to live where everyone can be cherished and loved. In the back of my book spines, yes. Although I would say that you're more of a reader than I am.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to the book that you bought? Are you still reading that book?
Very, very slowly.
Very slow.
I'm not really getting into it.
Yeah.
I should have. My problem is that I see so many book recommendations online, and then I immediately, when I finally get around to going to Barnes & Noble, I forget all of the titles.
You should just write them down, bro.
I know. At the time, I'm like, oh, I'll remember it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I used to love reading books, but then, like, past middle school and into high school, I don't know what happened. I was like, no books. Ew, frog. No, but frog is good.
Prince is, like, probably one of the uglier frogs.
No!
In Animal... I mean, I still love him.
I'm terrified of frogs. You only fear what you don't understand. No, but frogs are cool. They just like ribbit. I like the way their like little throats expand. I'm hiding from the demon. No, but frogs are so cute. They just like ribbit in their little throat, like it goes like that. It's funny. And they kind of just sit and like they shoot the little tongues out and get the flies. No, you're not about it.
Some people just...
Frog's the devil.
Some people just don't like him.
Yeah, some people just don't like him. You getting tired?
I am getting very tired.
Alright, we can go for... let's just say we can go until like 10:15, so like a couple more minutes.
Okay.
So I gotta show up early for work tomorrow.
You gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah, and you gotta work tomorrow too, but you don't have to go in until later. But, yeah. I just got a promotion at work today, or not today, but this week. So, this week should be pretty easy for me, low stress.
Yeah, like doing the training.
Right, because, I mean, pretty much most of the day is spent, like, not, like, riding along with people and, like, not really doing much, so.
Oh, I can't buy anything. Shoot. I'm like, I want to make this doll look pretty, and I can't.
Yeah. Also, Bubbly Bear, I don't know if you're still on, but, we normally stream Mondays and Fridays from about 8 to 10. So we're doing this stream today instead of
because we missed yesterday.
Because of you.
I didn't feel good yesterday.
Right. Well, Yeah, we were gonna skip because of a different reason, but then those plans changed. But then we
Yeah.
just decided not to stream because I don't know, we were real tired.
Sorry, shouldn't be talking about it on stream, but did we ever find out if Andrew is okay?
No, I meant to text him today, but I totally forgot. I'll text him tomorrow. No, not Eastern time, Central time.
Central.
Yes, and our Twitter should be linked, and we usually do like updates on that.
Yes. My personal Instagram is also linked, but we don't have like Twitch Instagram because.
I think I put your TikTok on there as well.
Oh, cool. My personal TikTok, my personal Instagram, and then our streams.
Yeah.
Our stream has a Twitter and a YouTube channel.
Right. When I was a kid, my 8 older brothers put frogs and toads in my hair. Oh no!
Oh no!
That's why you hate frogs.
I'm so sorry.
I already followed Twitter. Thank you.
So sweet.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's more on your brothers than on the frogs though.
I mean, her with frogs is like you with long nails.
Don't even talk to me about long nails.
Grant has a fear of long nails.
I do. I do have a fear of long nails. I don't like them. That's my one childhood trauma is that I picked up a Ripley's Believe It or Not, and then I flipped to the page and I saw the lady who had the longest nails in the world, and I got immediately grossed out, and then I started chewing my nails ever since. It's weird, right? I chose to start chewing my nails because I didn't want to have long nails, and then it became like an anxiety thing. And now I don't really have anxiety anymore, so now it's just a habit that I can't break. Yeah. So the anxiety part of it is gone, and now I thought it would go away, but it hasn't. So now it's just like this habit that I have.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's just one of those things where I like do it unconsciously, and I don't notice I'm even doing it until I do it.
Like, it's not really a problem until you start getting to like the part where like it starts bleeding a little bit.
I don't usually do it that bad.
No. Kind of catfish.
More of a dogfish person. I have a few extra traumas if you want to share. Maybe next time because we're gonna get off in like a couple minutes. All right.
But I hope you have a wonderful night.
Yeah.
Thank you for following us.
Yeah.
On
Thank
Twitter.
you for following. Share the stream, spread the love. We're all about that positivity.
Yeah. Did you follow me on Instagram as well? Or is it someone else? I think they followed me on Instagram. Hey, I'm gonna follow them back. Oh, it's probably private. You don't have to say yes. I'm sorry. I gotta change our bio because it still says starting at 7 on Central, but my new job. Oh, you're so sweet. My new job doesn't get out like until right at 7, so it's gotta be from like 8 now.
Yep.
So I gotta change that bio on the Twitter. Alrighty. Well.
Yeah. Hope you have an amazing night. Oh, I hope you have an amazing night too.
Yes. I hope everyone has a delightful and peaceful night.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
So, don't forget your water. True. Well, I got my tea, so.
Yeah, get your tea. I'm gonna get a glass of water before bed.
Yeah.
Alright. Good night.
All right, good
Bye.
night. Bye.